everybody, welcome to the channel. This is No Gas Nico. First time here, I'm going to do a review on a battery operated little mini chainsaw. Maybe you have use for this, maybe not. I don't know if I had use for this or not, but I was contacted to see if I would do a review on this, so this is what I'm going to do. So let's get to the unboxing, see what it is. And also, if this is your first time here, drop me a like and a follow. I would surely appreciate it. All right. Pretty heavy package. Got this thing on sell it on Amazon. So I did order it, buy it, bought it off Amazon. Full disclosure, after I do the review, they said they will reimburse me for this product for doing this review. I'm not getting paid for this review, so it's a completely unbiased review, my review, and see how this thing works. It's no black case. There's no markings, no name on the case. So let's just go ahead, open it up, and check out the contents. All right, as you can see here, this is what we have. You have a instruction manual, not a whole lot, just two pages, front and back. The back just has pictures in the cover, so it's really just one page of manual, and I would probably, it's all in English, so they do have a bag of goodies in here, so it looks like a pair of work gloves. So safety first, you want to make sure you have your work gloves. Looks like there is feels like two of them in there. Nope, it's one 6-inch chain. Or I'm sorry, a 6-inch bar for your 6-inch chain. You have a 6-inch chain there. Another 6-inch chain. This looks like your 8-inch chain. Safety glasses. A brush so you can clean off your wood chips. And a Phillips head screwdriver. Everything that was in that goodie bag. Now it does come with 2 batteries. Now, I'm told that these will also interchange with Makita batteries. I do not have an extra Makita battery, but what I do have is I have an adapter that will let me run a Milwaukee M18 battery and then run a Makita battery on this. So I'm going to test that out as well. So if you have Milwaukee batteries or Makita batteries, or maybe any other batteries, as long as you can find a Makita adapter to fit your batteries, you can use this chainsaw without having to worry about changing over your battery tools. Here's the mini chainsaw. It's put together. We do have a little safety button here. You have to depress this to run it. It does have a handle. Right here. So you can hold it like this. Now this is obviously going to be for light duty cutting. You're not going to take out big logs with this thing, but if you want to do some trimming on trees, some light duty cutting, you don't want to get your big chainsaw out, this thing will fit the bill. Now the chain does look like it's in pretty good tension. I don't know if these batteries came with any charge to them. There is no indicator on these batteries. Okay, the manual was not very helpful on how to charge the batteries. I mean, it was how to use preparation, connected to good power source, start the chainsaw, cutting operation, turning off the chainsaw, notes, maintenance and upkeep. It doesn't tell you how to charge the batteries. Now, what I did find out just by looking these over, the plug right here to plug this adapter in, wall that, and now I can charge this battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, charge the battery. We do have here for bar chain oil. So you do want to make sure you put bar chain oil in this to keep your chain lubricated so it doesn't heat up and you can get good cuts. Now the chain does feel like it has a pretty nice edge on it. And it does not look like to be a very aggressive angle either. So we'll see how good this cuts. I'm going to fill it up bar chain oil. First I want to go ahead and charge up the batteries, make sure they're fully charged. Not really sure how to tell that they're fully charged because there's no indicator light on these. It's 21 volt. Do not disassemble, crush, or solder. Do not short the terminals. Do not throw into fire or water. Very interesting. So I'll tell you what, I got a little power source here. I'm gonna plug it in and see how many lights come on. Oh, there's a red light on the charger. So this must tell me when it's going to be fully charged. Obviously, I'm not going to keep it on this because even though my Craftsman battery is fully charged, I don't know how much charge this thing had. So let's go ahead. I will charge this on a different charger. Charge it overnight. We'll fill up bar chain oil. And then I'm going to do some cutting with that to see how well this thing performs. Now I do have a tree that's dying in my backyard. There's some limbs that I can test this on. Actually, I got a couple trees that are dying that I'm going to have down. This may come in handy cleaning up some of the small debris, taking care of the brush. I do like this safety cover. Looks like it's got plenty of clearance, so you won't accidentally put your hand on there. It'll keep you safe, keep the chips away from you. Kind of curious here. Let's slap a battery on. Seems like it has pretty decent power. All right, that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and charge the batteries. I think I've said that too many times.
All right, so I got my bar chain oil. I didn't bring a funnel with me, and I'm not gonna waste time to go get one. Hopefully, I can pour this without making too big of a mess. Let's find out. A little spillage. I recommend using a funnel. But again, I'm doing this as a review. Usually, you can see the oil. I don't see any there, but anyway, let's grab a piece of wood and see how well this thing cuts. Check the saw. Pretty good tightness there, so let's see if I can cut through this piece. very impressed. No burning, cut through it pretty quickly. Wow, this thing actually hogged through it. Felt like it had pretty good power. Now, how much can you cut with that thing? How long is the battery gonna last? One nice thing is if you have Makita tools already, that is a Makita battery supply. So if you have Makita tools, you just pop this off, take your Makita, slap it on there, keep right on saw cutting. That's great. Now I do have an adapter for this for a Milwaukee M18. So I'm gonna grab the adapter with my Milwaukee. I wanna slap it on there, see how a Milwaukee battery runs this. Maybe do another cut with that. I don't have my Milwaukee battery with me. I will do that tomorrow. So we will continue this. Now I noticed the chain got a little loose. So they do mention that in the instruction manuals that in the beginning, the chain's gonna get loose and you're gonna have to tighten it. Let's try to tighten it right now. So yeah, it seems to be getting tighter. So you don't want this super tight. You just want a little bit of pull, a little bit of slop, maybe just a little bit more there. So there. All you gotta do, loosen this, just loosen this. And then here, there's a Phillips head screwdriver. You put it in there, you can tighten this chain up. You don't take it off the way I did. The only time you gotta take it off that way is if you're going to replace the bar or replace the chain. Now this does come with a 6-inch bar in case you wanna do smaller stuff, but I don't really understand why you'd wanna do that. So, back in business. Now I got this dying tree here. You can see these branches, I can just, is dying. So I'm gonna have to have this downed. I'm not gonna cut it down myself because it's right over my fence and also the power lines that go to my neighbor's house across the street. I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm gonna pay somebody to take this down, but to test this little saw out, I wanna take this limb down. See how it does. Well, there you have it.
Well, what'd you think? This is, it's amazing. I never thought that I would see a little electric chainsaw like this cut through limbs that big with such ease. Now, of course, this is a brand new chain, so you're going to want to make sure these are nice and sharp. If you don't know how to sharpen a chain, you can take it in for a couple bucks. Somebody can sharpen it for you. So when you start noticing the cutting is slow, you can have the chain sharpened, and that's not a fault of the saw. That's normal on all chainsaws. I want to address some of the comments I've seen in the reviews for this chainsaw. I've seen people say that, well, the chain constantly gets loose. Now, it's easy to tighten it. You just loosen this screw, tighten this Phillips head here, retighten this, and it holds. Now, it did get loose on me after the first cut, and I tightened the chain, and I made several cuts with this thing. I just went around and started cutting a lot of my firewood that I have laying out there. You saw the pile. I was just grabbing pieces and cutting and cutting and cutting. And I have not adjusted this since, and it's still tight. So I think people are making reviews and comments on this saying that the chain loosens a lot. And that's not the case. Not in my experience with this saw. It actually, I probably made 20 cuts with this saw. And the chain is, it's still as tight as it was when I tightened it down. Now the key is maybe people aren't tightening this down enough to keep the chain in place. Don't know. There's their scenario. All right. So another nice thing this has is it has here a clear bubble to see if you have bar chain oil. All you gotta do is tip it up. Oil fills that. You know you have bar chain oil in the saw tip it back, it falls back in the reservoir. There is no leakage. You also have back here a little gauge. You can see the level of the bar chain oil as well. So you can actually see when you're getting low, that way you don't run out. That's a big way of getting these blades dull, is running out of bar chain oil. So don't let that run out when you're cutting any limbs, because you're just going to shorten the life of your chain. Now I want to get into something else. This does take Makita batteries. That's what the seller said, that you can run Makita batteries on this thing. I don't have any Makita batteries, so what I did is I purchased this adapter. This is a Makita to a Milwaukee M18 adapter. You can get this on Amazon. I bought this on Amazon, link in the description. Let me go ahead and connect this to the saw. Fits perfect. So this is for a Makita tool. Obviously, you can put a Makita battery on here. Now let me go ahead and put the M18 on here. Line it up. And an M18 battery. If there are a lot of Milwaukee batteries, or you can even get an adapter for DeWalt, and there's limitless. So if you have a different brand battery and you're like, man, it'd be nice to have an extra battery, you may already have them. You might just need this adapter. If you have Makita batteries, they will plug directly into this saw. Now you can see here, I made all those cuts. You see how this is loose? I messed with this screw and I made it loose. No big deal. I can tighten it back up. Had I not touched this, this probably wouldn't have loosened up. So again, I think a lot of people were giving this bad reviews for this loosening up because they're not really used to running chainsaws, and they just said, well, I mean, this thing is horrible. It's not in my experience. So, final thoughts. It's a good saw. It cuts fast. It cuts surprisingly well. It has a lot of power for being an electric chainsaw. Again, it's a mini chainsaw. You're not going to take a tree down with this thing. But if you got some limbs and trees you want to do maybe a little bit of light pruning, you got some branches like that that you want to chop through, this thing is perfect. I went through like a 4 to 6 inch log. It sliced through it like butter. I was surprised. I tucked down that limb on that tree, sliced through it like butter. Now, yeah, it was a dead tree, so it was softer wood, but I had some hardwood in that pile, and I cut through it and went through it like butter. I was floored. I was flabbergasted that it actually worked. I actually had doubts on how well this thing was going to work. I've never used an electric chainsaw in my life. I'm used to my chainsaw I normally use is a steel. Cuts beautifully, so I'm familiar with chainsaws. And for the smaller stuff, this thing cuts just as good as my steel chainsaw. Of course, my steel chainsaw is bigger. I can take down a tree with it. It has a lot more durability for the larger stuff. This chainsaw is for light duty work, and it'll work beautifully. So if you know somebody that's maybe they're older, they don't want to carry a big heavy chainsaw to do a lot of their little light work, this would be great because it's very lightweight. You don't get the fatigue from using this thing. So again, I like it. It's compact. It's got a nice case. You can use different brand batteries as long as you have an adapter that will fit. You want to make sure that you are close to the same voltage. This is a 20 volt. Of course, this is an 18 volt Milwaukee. It works just fine. It comes with a 6-inch bar, comes with a couple extra chains, 2 chains for each size, screwdriver, charger, 2 batteries. For the money, this is a good buy. I'm glad that the seller reached out to me so I can go ahead and do this video and do this review, because I don't know if I would have bought one and did a review anyway, because again, I have a steel chainsaw, so I didn't think I had a need for it. But now that I have this and I did the review, this might be my go-to saw unless I have something bigger to use. I might just use this and just keep swapping batteries if it dies and put the other batteries on a charger. And again, if you don't want the expense of gas, you can use battery, and maybe you have a solar system in your house, charge the batteries off solar, and you'll be running that saw for free, as I intend to do. So again, that's what I have. I think I highly recommend this. If you want to looking for a little mini light duty chainsaw, this is the way to go. I highly recommend it. Check it out. It is on Amazon. Link in the description. Go ahead, click the link, check it out for yourself. I know you won't be disappointed. As always, thanks for watching. God bless, and we will talk to you soon.